Hello everybody again, chess fans especially. Some of you, or most of you, or all of you, probably know that there is a championship chess match going on in India. Vishy Anand is defending his championship against Magnus Carlsen. Vishy Anand is actually from Chennai, India. Magnus Carlsen, of course, is from Norway. Both of these players are amazing players. Of course, the young man, Carlsen, as we all know, we've watched him grow up. We saw him play. He was a 10-year-old. We've even seen him play Kasparov. Has won the right to challenge the world champion in a match. They decided to do it in India. India is actually a sort of a chess center of the world. Well, since I'm not an actual expert, I do try my best to give you lessons and off of different programs, and I give you lots of videos that you can certainly learn off of. I myself am learning. But since I'm not the actual grandmaster, I thought I'd give you a different perspective, because there are three, at least, that I can refer you to that are on my YouTube subscriptions, experts, videos that have already analyzed this game, and I would encourage you to watch those videos. One of them is Kilogar Chess on YouTube. Another, of course, is one of my favorites, King's Crusher. And another one is the Online Chess Lessons, which also has a YouTube channel. So what I decided to do was, besides their expert commentary and analyzing the game, first I wanted to show you the game from Vishy's perspective. He's playing black in game 5, and he lost the game. This will be the first game out of all 5 that weren't drawn. The fourth game was very exciting. The first 2 games I didn't really watch, but according to them, they were short and kind of quick and not too exciting. Game 3 and 4, especially 4, was very exciting, according to them. I watched some of them. As you know, however, or you may not know, Chennai, India's time zone is 10.5 hours ahead of us. So, for me to watch these games live, which I did, or at least I tried to, I watched Game 4 and lost a lot of sleep over it, and Game 5 was last night, or I should say this morning. And what I did was I pointed my monitor towards my bed and at 4:30 in the morning, and laid down and watched it from the bedside. Fell asleep, of course, didn't watch the whole thing, but when I woke up, the sun was shining, the game was still going on, and it looked like Vishy had lost, and he did. So I'm going to give you that perspective. There's at least 3 moves that I wanted to point out, and then what I'll do is I'll let the game play. Now you can go to YouTube if you want to watch these games live. You don't know where to go, you can go to YouTube and look for Championship Chess Match or Chess Championship, and it'll give you automatically one of the official sites, and on that site, on that YouTube channel, you can watch the game. You could also click on their screen, on their what's the word, the cover photo. There's actually a link to go to the official FIDE site, and you can watch it from there too. So there's ways to look at it. In the meantime, I first want to tell you that according to the computer, the opening was a unconventional opening. They're calling it the Queen's Gambit declined semi-Slav without knight to f6, plus the Marshall Gambit, which is a big mouthful. Essentially, it was an unconventional opening. So very quickly, I want to show you that first. What the experts, Kilogar Chess, I think said this, not moving knight to f6 allowed allowed Carlsen to push the pawn to e4. This already, I think, was setting the stage for Magnus to be getting a slight advantage. But I'm not absolutely sure. Of course, I'm not the expert, but I think this may have been a slight mistake. But in any case, as the game goes on, the three moves I want to point out is, let me see, I think it was move 13. Yeah, Vishy and Anand moved the bishop to c7. Now, apparently, of course he had already moved this bishop sometime in the past. Yeah, he moved it back from there a first time, and then he went and moved it again. According to, I think it was Kiloguard Chess, this sort of gives a loss of tempo. Now, I imagine, taking it away from danger, because it looks like Magnus might go ahead and push b4 and, threaten the bishop. But in any case, it's not a blunder in any way. It's not, anything like that. It's just some of the experts think that it might have been a tempo-losing move. So anyway, as the game goes on, it seems like, according to the experts, that was one of the decisive possible mistakes. I think Vishy Anand himself said that this move allowed for the following exchanges, which he was very uncomfortable with. There was forced exchanges starting from now. You see, he takes the knight, they make a trade on the queens, and this seems to be at least what Vishy Anand might have mentioned. I'm not absolutely sure he said this. It was kind of early in the morning, and I thought I heard him say this during the press conference, that this might have been a slight miscalculation, causing him to lose a little ground. But here's a question I have. The experts say that the king is safe here, but I have to question is, why not castle here? Why did Vishy Anand move it to king to e7? I don't know. I'm not the expert, again. It just seems to me that castling here would have been better. But who am I to say? So the real mistake, however, again, this bishop moves up. And this is more of a mistake. This allows, and this is right from the Kiloguard Chess's mouth, this allows, of course, and I don't have to be the expert to see this, this allows for c5, which Magnus does, threatening the bishop. And then that forces Vishy to have to threaten the knight, and another trade-off occurs. So, and then, of course, Magnus pushes the pawn, threatening the rook. Now we're getting into some scary moves here. So these are, start from way back where I was telling you that some of these moves were a little bit tempo losing and possibly giving white the advantage. This bishop d7, did I say? No, this was, in other words, why move the bishop back here again? Why not perhaps c6 or maybe some other move altogether? I don't know. I think Vishy was a little out of form here. So I think this might have been one of the slightly decisive mistakes. And again, I don't know if it was an actual mistake. I do know that the computer analyzing the game during the game on one of the chess sites showed this as a less than optimal move. It didn't show it as a mistake. It was less than optimal move. And again, not being the expert, I can't be sure. So there was the exchange going on. And then, of course, the actual blunder, which Vishy himself said it, the actual blunder was way ahead here. I think it was Here it is. It was rook h6. No. Excuse me. Um, there he goes. Rook c1 check. Now, Vishy had already moved that rook a couple of times. Then he turns around and he puts Magnus in check. Now, this is a frivolous check. This is a blunder. He ends up losing a pawn for it, and he also ends up losing the opportunity to capture one of Carlsen's pawns. Vishy himself said it was, in fact, a blunder. And during the press conference, the journalist had asked him what was your decisive mistake, and he said that this was his decisive mistake. So there's no arguing this one. But and there it is. And it was downhill from there. I think Vishy was very calm and collected about it, but I think he, if you looked at his body language, you would have noticed that he knew this was over. So here, once Carlsen had pushed the h4 pawn, Vishy and Anand just made a nonsense move and resigned, which is customary. I mean, when you're going to resign in a championship game, I think it's customary to just pick up a piece and move it. And he chose king of d5, which is really a do-nothing move. But in any case, he resigned here, and that would be the first game out of the entire match so far, out of 5 games, that turned out to be other than a draw. I'm a fan of Viswanathan Anand. Both players, of course, are very nice, cool people of the world. Magnus Carlsen himself is in his 20s, the young man. Vishy is, of course, in his 40s, early 40s, I think, making him the old man. So I guess that sort of brings him closer to me, and I like to see the old guys win. But as you know, like any sport, and yes, chess is a sport, the mental drain is actually a physical drain. Vishy has been going to the gym and doing different things to keep his physical health up, because he knows he's up against a very young and healthy young man. Not to mention a genius. There's no arguing about Carlsen being a genius. He is. I've seen him from the time he was in the news, from before he was 10 years old. They called him the Mozart of chess. So he's right up there with any other past expert chess upcoming grandmaster. He was a grandmaster before he was a teenager, I think. So there's no arguing that. But I am a fan of Anand. And what I'm going to do is, while I'm talking here, I'm going to let you see this game play out by itself. There we go. Let's move this out of the way. So, in order to watch these games, you can. You just have to understand that Chennai, India is 10.5 hours ahead of us. So, when I did this morning, it was 4:30 a.m. when the game started, 3 p.m. India time. I'm going to make that attempt again tonight so that I can bring you another video. I'm hoping that, of course, Vishy Anand can redeem himself tonight or this coming morning. Again, both players, I don't have nothing against both players. They're both very cool people. But just to stick up for my fan who has beaten another, I mean, not to stick up for my fan, excuse me, it's just to stick up for my man, me being a fan of Vishy. Because I watched Vishy defeat Kasparov, and I was always a Kasparov fan as well. But I don't know if you've ever seen Kasparov play back in the 80s. He was very animated. You could read his body language like a book. When he got upset, when he made a bad move, he was raising his eyebrows, throwing his hands up in the air, and all kinds of things. But everybody's different. We're all human. Vishy was always the calm. Even when he made a mistake, he didn't let on until the end. But In any case, I'm hoping that Vishy redeems himself tonight. I'm going to be trying to watch it again. I'm certainly going to do the same trick with pointing the monitor at the bed. And I'm going to copy down the move list so I can give you this this sort of video again. I may or may not put it in tomorrow's, probably not. I'm thinking of trying to get all of the games into one PGN and then just share them with you that way. But perhaps, oh, look at that, it's 10 o'clock. Perhaps you can join me sort of in a virtual way and find the live broadcast of the game for yourself. I don't know where you are. Of course, anybody here in the United States is going to have to watch it wee hours in the morning. If you're on the East Coast like I am, it's going to be the really wee hours in the morning. If you're in California somewhere, at least you have about 3 hours extra. So, who knows? Maybe, and there it is, that's the end of the game. Who knows? Maybe Vishy will redeem himself. Let's root for the old man and and hoping that it goes well for him tonight. I know that he's also an amateur astronomer, which is sort of another field that I happen to like, astronomy. In any case, the game has ended. It's finished playing out. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you enjoyed this game and my impromptu analyzing of this game. Again, I'm not the grandmaster. You get much more professional commentary out of King's Crusher or online chess games and or Kiloguard Chess. You should be able to find all those links on my site, on my channel. YouTube has been changing so many things. I'm not sure anymore, but somewhere along the line, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. Even if you just go into your YouTube and type in chess championship match, you should be able to find it. In the meantime, keep on playing.